Hello out there. Here we are with us. Well, first off, you'll see this screen. We'll get to what I'm doing in a moment. If you notice, I am actually working on the Alien Isolation game. That's this right here. So bear with me. And you'll probably notice there's another diamond painting I've been working on. But I had to take a step back from the Alien Isolation game. Uh, I had an issue and I've got to figure it out. I've been trying to keep the Alien Isolation games to about a half hour, so I don't have to do too much editing. I've obviously got to edit this one. You'll see that was almost an hour long. This one's a little short. I kept, if I remember that episode, it's been a while since I recorded it. I had a few issues, staying alive. uh, but I just wanted to show you, I am working on it. I might have to do a few things in between to make sure it's, you know, I have actually videos coming, in between it, in case I don't have time to finish it. Because as I've mentioned before, I got a queue going on, so I am doing it, people. But like, I had an audio issue where it wasn't playing in my headset, but it was playing, and it still showed up on the audio of the video, which was weird. I took a step back from it, and I'll be trying to do a new episode soon with that, and hopefully it'll be ready, before too long. But right now, I am going to do a movie review. Yes, it's been a little while since I did one, especially one solo. Well, it's kind of a movie comparison. Let's more options. Here, I'm going to edit this out real quick and get back while I'm setting up the world. I'm going to do a comparison of two movies. It's irony. I'm doing a Christmas movie, and look where I loaded in at. Uh, well, it's kind of a comparison because they're or an original versus ripoff, depending on how you look at it. Uh, but there's a movie known as Christmas Toy or The Christmas Toy. Uh, it is a Jim Henson video, a movie, and it is about toys. In fact, well, let's get to the nitty gritty of it. Toy Story ripped it off. If you watch, I do recommend you watch this, especially if you're a fan of Kermit. Kermit's in there briefly, but where's the bonus chest? Anyways, uh, yeah, if you watch it, you can definitely tell that yeah, Toy Story ripped it off. There's no arguing that. And this is before there's the bonus chest. This is before Disney owned the Jim Henson studio. So it is a rip off. All right. Now we start off the movie where there's a couple of kids playing when they're nursery. Not great stuff, but well, and they're playing like regular kids. I play so many games. I play so many games that's I forget the controls sometime because uh, all kinds of different games. They have different ways that you do things to open inventory. So I keep wanting to push tab. I've been playing GTA 5 a lot lately, which is another reason why I've kind of delayed on Alien Isolation. I got re addicted to GTA 5. Now, well, actually, before you see the kids playing, Kermit's up on the roof doing some chimney sweeping, explaining what's going on. But as soon as the kids leave, well, he leaves, the kids show up, then When the kids leave, the toys start playing with themselves. Doesn't that sound a lot like Toy Story? But again, this came out before Toy Story. Well, you've got Apple. Apple? Yeah, I think her name was Apple. She's a doll. She's the one of the favorite toys of the girl. We don't know what the boy's favorite toy is, but that's unimportant. Apple and Rugby, which is a tiger, are like the two main focus of the movie. Well, there's also Mew, who's a cat toy. Yeah, we'll get to that later, closer to the end, where I talk about Mew. At least the name. You could probably know where that's going, but anyways, uh, they're playing with themselves, and then one of the toys had just came from the living room, which I believe it's this old teddy bear. Now, this is technically Rugby's second Christmas. The Christmas before, he was the Christmas gift to the little girl. Now, the as far as the old bear coming, he's like the elder of the group, and he had just told everybody that it's Christmas time again, and Rugby's like, oh well, I'm the Christmas toy. Rugby is, well, basically he's Woody. He's the favorite toy. At least currently, he's the favorite toy. Do you know who the favorite Christmas toy from the year before is? You find out later. It was Apple. And yeah, they have this. There's a lot of singing because, well, it's Muppets. It's in the same world as the Muppets. Rugby's not too keen on not being the Christmas toy this year. So, again, Woody. He was so upset after Buzz came. Like, he was not the favorite toy anymore. Yeah. It is a major, Toy Story is a major ripoff. Well, in this world, there's this thing. Toys are not supposed to be seen up and moving or out of place. Now, actually, this movie does this way better than Toy Story. Because in Toy Story, it's like, okay, it's the rule to just not do that. Which I don't know why. Kids would have a lot more fun if their toys could play back. But that's beside the point. They don't really explain very well why they freeze and stuff. Well, in the Christmas toy, which it gets pretty dark with this, if a toy is seen out of place, they freeze forever. Yep. Basically, they're supposed, unalive YouTube. Yeah, it's pretty dark because you get this clown toy who's, he's pretty much unimportant, but he demonstrates basically he's just there for a plot convenience to show, hey, this is what happens. And then he gets dragged to this pile of other toys that are frozen, which I don't get why they do that. That part they don't explain very well. They drag him over to this pile, and that's it. It's Christmas Eve night, by the way, so the kids are supposed to be asleep. Apparently, there's a zombie nearby. If you guys are hearing my game sounds, if not, it's not a big deal. But anyways, so Rugby wants to go and put himself in the box of the Christmas toy for the little girl, which I believe her name was Jane. Her her name is really unimportant. You barely see the kids. They're just they're there. They're like scenery. there's a little brother, there's the girl, and then there's an older sister, which I don't even know if the older sister's name is ever said at all. She's just there to snitch on the brother and sister who were sneaking out. That was it. No other reason. You don't ever see her before that. Don't ever see her after that. Anyways, Rugby's trying to sneak out, which okay, he does sneak out to go downstairs where the Christmas tree and the Christmas toys are. Mew warns everybody, and they make a rescue party. Okay, and then now they have this running gag. It was funny back then, but I don't know if it's really that funny now. There's basically Barbie. Yeah, it's basically Barbie, even though they don't call her Barbie. And she's like, "Oh, a rescue mission? I better change." Yeah, yeah, because that was she was a basically Barbie from back in the the. Oh, when was this movie released? Give me a moment. This movie came out in '86, so yeah, back then Barbies were meant for girls, and back then girls were supposed to be so big on changing their clothes all the time, which wasn't really what girls. Not every girl. Oh, pumpkin. Wait. Oh shoot. Oh shoot. Polar bear. I'm going. I'm going. I don't want your cub. Leave me alone. Go away. I just want a pumpkin. There, I'm going. I cut a couple pumpkins. I'm leaving. Run! Sugar. Sorry. Don't kill me. I don't know what to do. I have this on hard mode. And no keep inventory on. Oh, thank you. But I'm going to have to pillar up for the night. Speaking of why I have to pillar up, okay. Anyways, where was I? Rugby's wanting to go downstairs, get himself into put in the Christmas box for as a toy for Jamie. And okay, well, I already said all that. Try to catch myself up. I got a little distracted. Well, as stated, Mew warned everybody, and they are wanting Apple's making a rescue mission for him. Well, Rugby's bobbing and weaving. He hides in a closet with Mew. Well, the closet gets completely closed. It's one of those. Oh, how do I explain the door? Accordion style door. Kind of folds, and it's on tracks. Anyways, when the coast is clear, Rugby's like not sure how to get out. Well, if you remember right, Mew is a cat toy. Mew is probably my favorite character in the movie. Rugby's a jerk. I'm sorry. And okay, I need to backpedal a little bit and talk about Mew. Every one of the toys hates Mew. They're like, "You're just a cat toy," or "Ew, it's Mew." Well, Mew has catnip in it, and catnip has a smell to it. So all the other toys don't really like Mew for some reason. I don't get why. It doesn't make sense to me. But as you've learned on my channel, I'm very open to diversity and caring about people that are different. So, well, Mew's like, well, I've this has basically happened to me before, and I know how to deal with it. Stick your paw under the door right about here and pull. Because apparently that's happened to the cat, and the cat had to figure out how to get out. This comes into play later. This is not the last time this happens where he's locked in the room. Well, he makes it. They make it downstairs. Well, Apple is upstairs, trying and finally makes it to the top of the stairs, and now there's this taxi driver toy. Um, Not much to say about him. He's a taxi driver. It's a toy. It's a little car that has a little figure in it, and that's how he's able to talk. That's how they. Anyways, he, has Apple on top of him and speeds off and flies down the stairs. Anyways, Apple's trying to convince Rugby not to open the package and all that. Mew actually helps Rugby for some reason, even though he's trying to get him back upstairs. I don't know why Mew helps him, honestly. Well, they end up becoming best friends, so it's showing his loyalty to his friend. Anyways, Mew wraps his tail around the tree. Oh, I say he's a cat toy, but I haven't really actually talked about what cat toy he is. He is a mouse or a rat. But like I said, he's a cat toy. Those are the typical cat toys. I've but I'm sorry I forgot to mention that already. Uh, so he wraps his tail around a branch of the tree and bounces down, pulls the ribbon, and unties the present. Now inside the box is obviously a new toy. Her name is and it's a girl. It's a doll. Yeah, because back in the '80s, all girls wanted dolls. I know that's stereotypical. I know that we've not all girls are that way. For a time, my daughter had wanted nothing to do with dolls, and now she's asking for Monster High dolls again. But anyways, well, at first she's like in stasis animation. She's not moving or anything. But after a moment of the package being open, she starts moving. And now her name is Meteora. Should that sound like it's a space theme name? Well, guess what? It is. She's a space princess or pirate. Anyway, she's space. Hmm. Does that sound familiar at all? It doesn't sound like Buzz, does it? Not yet? No? Well, guess what? She doesn't realize she's a toy. Hmm. Buzz doesn't realize he's a toy for most of the movie. I wonder why I would think that Toy Story is a ripoff of this movie. Yeah, don't get me wrong, I love Toy Story, but it makes me so mad that just a rip off of this movie, and a lot of people don't remember this movie anymore. By the way, free on YouTube, recommend watching. It is a go-to Christmas movie of mine. Well, Apple tries to talk to Rugby, like I said, she's trying to talk him out. She tells him her story, and the song that played earlier that I was talking about, where now it's that Rugby was singing, now she's singing. And now in that scene originally, you know, Jamie's holding Rugby and kissing him. Well, there's a blurred figure in the background during Rugby's version. Well, in this version, they take away the blur, and there's Apple, and she's got a tear rolling down her face because she knows she's no longer the favorite toy. Yeah. It happens. In fact, if you remember right in Toy Story, they're like, "Oh, nobody's getting replaced." I wonder where they got the idea of toys possibly get replaced by new toys. That would have been nice if that dropped a sword. So she does her spew, explains that she was the Christmas schoolboy. Crouch, shift, owie. Well, I might have to eat some of this rotten flesh or raw. We'll go with rotten flesh. Well, her story doesn't move. It's like, oh, you just didn't try hard enough. Like I said, Rugby's pretty much a jerk in this movie. That's back to where it came, I believe. I'm trying to find a village. Eventually, Mew goes into the package because Rugby had put himself in the package. Mew puts himself in the package and talks to Rugby, and even he's having trouble getting through to. But Mew's having trouble himself convincing Rugby to get out and go back to his place. It took Rugby saying, well, or not Rugby, Mew saying, "You're going to be frozen forever." And then Rugby's like, "Oh, crap. Well, I think it's time to end this." So they finally got Rugby convinced, but now they have another problem. If you remember right, Meteora doesn't realize she's a toy. Well, she's knocking over chess pieces, making a lot of noise, and the parents almost come downstairs to figure out what the noise is. Well, Mew, a cat toy, knows how the cat sounds and was able to mimic the cat. So it meows. It's like, oh, it's just a cat. And they ignore it. You save their booties, basically. Get more pumpkins up there. Well, they go into another song and dance number. Again, it's a Muppet movie. It's to be expected. There's a lot of music in it. Probably one of the reasons I love it so much. I like musical movies. So they're going this whole musical spew and finally get her to understand she's a toy and she needs to be put in back in the box. And she's like, "Wrap me up, Rugby. My public awaits." Well, that's not the end of the movie. On the way back up, well, they Mew bites onto Rugby's tail because they're now riding on these. Okay, I mentioned the taxi toy, but there was also this horse on wheels. Like again, plot convenience thing. Some of these toys are just very forgettable, unfortunately for them. Well, and so Apple's on, I believe, the horse with the wheels, and Rugby's on the taxi, and they're trying to speed to the nursery. Yes, and okay, these people are rich enough where they have a nursery for their kids. Nursery being a toy room, not like a typical nursery that most of us think of today, where it's for the baby. No, it's just the toy room, and they have a lot of toys. Maybe it's common in richer society for this, but anyways, Pava, they're oh, ouch, ouchies. Oh, what did it? I picked up a rabbit. Okay, well, they're on their way. Mew slips off a Rugby's tail. Mew's also got wheels, by the way, for some reason. Uh, I don't get it. He looks like a stuffed mouse, so I don't get the wheels. Plot convenience thing. Anyways, well, the other toys make it back to the nursery and look out the room. Well, the parents walk out, and Mew is frozen forever. But Rugby's like, no, I need to go to my friend because they put the Mew into the cat bed. And of course, Mew's frozen, right? Forever, frozen forever. That's the whole view of that. Of course, he's not frozen forever. They don't completely explain it. Even the toys are like, how'd this happen? I don't know. I was in another place. It was all dark. But we have another musical number where Rugby goes back to the see the cat beds downstairs. So he goes back downstairs to from you. And there's another musical number. It's actually a pretty sad scene. Well, after this, during the song, they're going upstairs. They flash upstairs. It's not just Rugby singing; it's all the toys. And upstairs, the toys that are already frozen were frozen before, are starting to stir. Well, so's Mew, and freaks out Rugby when he finally comes to completely, because Rugby's not actually looking at Mew. He's head bowed and crying. And yeah, it was like I said, it was a really sad scene. But I don't completely understand. They don't even understand the toys, and I kind of like that. See, this is one of those things that it's up to the viewer to decide what happened. Was it the power of love? Maybe. Was it just a Christmas miracle? Santa revived the toys, gave them life again? Who knows? Some people could probably call it a plot hole, but in their world, it's never happened before, from what we see. So they don't understand it. Or maybe it was just that Rugby loved his friend so much, platonically, not biblically, love. There are many forms of love. I mean, my best friend, I love him like a brother, He's not my brother, but that's how I look at him as. And I usually I sometimes do refer to him as my brother. You guys have met him, sort of. He's my masked friend. Well, I can't. I'm not going to say his real name, so I'll go by the name that we've referred to him as Doc. Kids refer to him as Uncle Doc. In fact, Bratman I named after him, not the Bratman part, but Bratman's real name. His middle name is the same middle name as my best friend. Yeah, all my kids are named after uh, family members. Daughter's named well, not her first name, but her middle name is named after my grandmother. My son actually is named after me, my dad, and my father-in-law. He's got two middle names. I wanted Junior. Wife didn't want Junior. It was the compromise, and I'm okay with it. Even though she even says now we should have named him Junior, even though she didn't want a Junior at the time. He is a mini me of me. You guys have seen him. He's got a very similar personality as I do. Uh, but anyways, they have their heart filled moment, and then they go upstairs, and they have their one final song number, and hey, Kermit shows back up. Like, don't forget, this is a Muppet movie. That's basically the whole reason Kermit was there. It's like, hey, this is a Muppet movie. Don't forget that. Oh, I'm not going to be able to make a base today. I at least need to find sheep before I can make a base. Is it a great movie? No, it's dated. I mean, it was great back when I was a kid. I still love it. Don't get me wrong. It's still one of my favorite Christmas movies. I've been planning on doing this review for a while, but things happen. Oh, I almost forgot about talking about Mew again. Now, you'll notice on my channel, I do Pokemon openings and have, a few Pokemon, uh, card opening. Well, not card openings, but a few Pokemon games I've done. So you can probably got a pretty good idea where I'm going with this Mew, as in the rare legendary Pokemon Mew. But wait, there's more. Guess what the cat got for Christmas? Another cat toy. And now I get it's supposed to be TOO, but still, this other cat toy says its name. Mine, well, Mew's like, my name is Mew, and the other cat toy's like, I'm Mew too. So, yeah, I don't know if it's just a coincidence, but Pokemon might have also done a little ripping off here. But again, it's a good little movie. It's so good that it was ripped off by Disney. Granted, I can't argue Disney did a little better job. I can't argue with it. It's to a degree. To a degree. Got to make that clear. To a degree. Because they didn't explain why there's the rules in place for why they can't be seen out of place or moved or anything. They don't explain it. So Christmas Toy does that better. But maybe because it was just supposed to be a Christmas special, there could have been more detail in it. Maybe been a little longer, which is why Toy Story is a little better. you know, they, you know, they give you more detail. Snowing. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. Boy, does that song have so many implications today. Sorry, a person that believes in global warming, so yeah, I used to always have a white Christmas. Yes. But anyways, great movie. Well, not great now, but it's still good enough movie now. Kids will have fun with it. You know, Disney, yeah, did a little bit better version, but that was because they made a longer movie. They probably had a bigger budget. Even if you do scaling where if you take what they spent, Disney spent on Toy Story now and compare it to what it would have been back in the 86 when this was released, it still probably was a bigger budget. Uh, but you know what? It's I do like I said, recommend it. You should watch it. It's a really good Christmas movie. And classics like this, we shouldn't let fade into obscurity. I mean, some of the things, there's a lot of movies, there are things that don't hold up. I mean, but it's still a classic and needs to get more love. I don't know if I've already done a review of this one or not. I'll have to check. I should have checked before I did this review. But if I've already done it, well, I'm sure my opinions were pretty close. It was probably last year I did it, if I did it. I plan on redoing my Harry Potter versus worst witch review at some point. I think I could have done better. Plus the gameplay kind of got screwed up when I recorded it, so some of my older videos I need to completely redo, and so don't be surprised if I did do it and it turns out that it's gone now. Well, probably because I just went ahead and removed it for this one. I know, little cheaty. Now, oh, I'm the kind of person that likes saying happy holidays. Now, here's the thing. Let, this is a whole can of worms. I know. Shouldn't get into this can of worms. The thing is, there's more than just Christmas around this time of the year. There's the winter solstice, which might also be called Yule, which was the original holiday, historically speaking. It came before Christmas ever was, counted as a holiday. We're going by historical people, not it's historically documented. If you don't believe me, look it up. Fact check it. I'm not going to get into why I laughed about that. We're keeping politics off this channel. That's enough said on that. But there's also Hanukkah. There's Kwanzaa, I believe. There's just quite a few different holidays this time of year. And I respect them all. I don't celebrate them all, but I respect them. And here, you guys want to talk, Christians want to talk about they're good people and stuff. Well, let me talk to you about this, Christians. Doesn't it say in the Bible, "Thou shalt not judge"? Doesn't it talk about being good to your fellow humans? Well, goodwill toward men is supposed to be the theme of Christmas, which it's supposed to be you know Jesus' birthday, which that's a whole nother can of worms. That's hard to deal with there. Actually, let's get into that little bit of history. Make this video a little longer. Now, depending on how you look at it, that's all wrong. Jesus was not born in December. Jesus was born in the summertime. Now, that said, at least I've been informed. I haven't done the research on this, so forgive me if I'm wrong. But supposedly, uh, Jews don't celebrate births like everybody else. And okay, this is fact. Jesus was a Jew. So if there is one true religion, it would be Judaism, or however it's called. Okay? So that's just the way it is, people. Christianity is people worshiping Christ or Jesus. Hmm. Are we supposed to be worshiping God according to the Christians? I'm sorry. There are a lot of Christians. Not every Christian, but there are a lot of Christians I have issues with that they're hypocrites. I'm sorry to those ones that are not hypocrites, but a lot of Christians can be big hypocrites. I, from what I've seen in my life. But anyways, well, we're going back to the whole, you know, Jesus was a Jew, and Jews don't celebrate births like the rest of the world. Jews celebrate birth for the time of conception. So let's say he was born in. Oh, stop, broke that. He was born in summertime. Well, that would mean he was conceived in December or wintertime. I cannot break those now, and I just got some pants. Pants, I tell you, they're crappy pants, but they're pants nonetheless. Yeah, this is my guy. I created the skin myself. If anybody wants to make me a new skin, free, by the way, I don't have money to pay you to make me one. Sorry. I will give you shout out though. If I had the money, I would pay somebody to make me a better skin. I look like a Simpsons character, though my hands don't quite match my other skin. Anyways, which direction was I going? I was thinking I was heading that way. But yeah, Jews don't celebrate birthdays like us. So, depending on how you look at it, yes, Jesus was born in the summertime. But if we go by the Jewish version of celebrating birthdays, then yes, he would be celebrated in December. But let's also get to the fact that back then record keeping wasn't the best, so dates are not exact. So we don't really know when Jesus' birthday was. So it's just a guess. Oh, is that a village? I found a village. Yay. I needed a bed. That's a great way to end this episode is finding a bed. Hopefully it's not an abandoned village. But so yeah, I know this whole tangent had nothing to do with the movie, but come on, people. Regardless of what religion you are, This is the time of year to have goodwill toward men. Well, people. I'm going to do it. So please, please don't judge people for their religions, their beliefs. I know I have a few issues with, you know, and I don't, and don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to Christians and as a whole, just those ones that are, you know, the the issue. Because not all, there's only a few that are the problem, so don't take it that way that, oh, I had bread. I had bread this whole time, because that's not, you've learned from my videos. That's not how I am. So again, don't take what I was saying as me trying to degrade Christians or anything. It's nothing like that. My a lot of my family are Christians, and I have a lot of respect for my family. Most of them. That's not the point here. you know. Again, my whole thing is it's Christmas. Be respectful to everybody, not just people who agree with your religion. Because you know what? Would you want them treating you that way? I know I wouldn't. I want to be treated with respect. How about you? Do you want people going around and judging you just because of your religion? Judging you because you're different? I mean, you shouldn't be doing it any time of the year anyway. But anyways, happy holidays, people. Be good to each other. And as always, have fun out there.